when it comes to issues of digital gender gaps. Policymakers and experts around the world are increasingly turning to host policy forums to discuss possible solutions. Hosting policy forums is an effective way to bring together stakeholders from different sectors to address the challenges facing digital gender gaps and create meaningful change. The digital gender gap is a phenomenon wherein women and girls are less likely to use technology and digital media than their male counterparts. This gap affects access to resources, opportunities, and services in the digital age, and can have a significant impact on the socio-economic development of countries. While the digital gender gap is most pronounced in developing countries, it also exists in developed countries. Hosting policy forums on the digital gender gap is an effective way to bring together stakeholders from different sectors to discuss possible solutions. These forums usually involve a variety of stakeholders from government, industry, civil society, and academia. The goal of these forums is to create a platform for open dialogue and to exchange ideas that can lead to meaningful policy changes and implementation. These forums are typically structured around three core objectives: understanding the digital gender gap, identifying potential interventions, and crafting actionable policy recommendations. The forums usually involve presentations from experts on the digital gender gap, followed by interactive sessions and discussions. In addition to allowing participants to share their experiences, these sessions also provide the opportunity to identify best practices and approaches to addressing the gap. In addition to providing a platform for exchanging ideas, host policy forums are also effective in raising awareness about the digital gender gap. By bringing together stakeholders from different sectors, these forums also create an opportunity for stakeholders to collaborate and come up with solutions that can have a real impact in terms of closing the gender gap. Forums on the digital gender gap can be hosted in various settings. For example, they can be hosted in universities, research centers, international organizations, or government offices. Depending on the setting, the forum may take the form of a workshop, conference, or lecture series. In order to ensure that host policy forums on digital gender gaps are successful, it is important to ensure that all stakeholders are represented and that the discussions are productive and meaningful. Inviting a diverse range of stakeholders from different sectors is essential to ensure that the discussions are comprehensive and that all perspectives are taken into account. Additionally, it is important to ensure that the topics discussed are tailored to the particular context of the host country and that the discussions are framed in an accessible way. Host policy forums on the digital gender gap are an effective way to address the challenges facing women and girls in the digital age. By bringing together stakeholders from different sectors and providing a platform for open dialogue, these forums can lead to meaningful policy changes and implementation. By hosting these forums in a variety of settings, stakeholders can also be made aware of the issue and come up with solutions that can have a real impact in terms of closing the gender gap.